Good morning and welcome. We gather here today not in anger or bitterness, but rather wrapped in the warmth of love for the behavior that perpetuates our great nation. Many have given much, but today we remember those who have given all. They are gone. Their memory etches smiles and furrowed brows, for they have left empty places at our tables, homes in our community, and dreams unfulfilled. Our one nation under God is indebted beyond our ability to repay for their gift to all of us. Our thank you must come from deep within us and be made credible by our deeds to make our country the very soul of freedom. They have done all they can do for us. Now it truly is our turn. We pray God's blessing and help as they make our community worthy of their gift.
We'll now have our national anthem by Mill River High School band.
Attention! 1, 2.
Next, we're going to have the poem in Flanders Field read by Sandy Losey, and this is in remembrance of, again, of all our fallen soldiers, and since World War II when this poem started.
between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Field. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, from falling hands, we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Field.
Now the firing squad will give a salute to the dead, and Post 52 will be the honor guard. And our memorial wreath has been laid by the tombs there. Next, our memorial day speaker is Richard Gallo. He's from the Vermont Veterans Outreach. He's a specialist. He served in the U.S. Army, retired, and also a Vermont native. We welcome Richard Gallo.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me here to speak. It is an honor and a privilege to speak at the Wallingford Memorial Day ceremony. First and foremost, could I also ask for another round of applause for the Mill River High School Band? They did a great job, and well done. Today we pay homage to the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice to our great nation. All veterans and their family members hold a special place in my heart. Let us never forget the ultimate sacrifice that their loved ones have made. I would like to recognize the veterans from the past, the veterans from the present, and the veterans from the future, and would like to acknowledge the veterans who are here in attendance with us today. Because of their willingness to stand before our nation and defend our country, we are able to remember all others. Thank you for your service to our nation. We continue to recognize these individuals because if it wasn't for the grace of God, we would be paying our respect to these men and women. These service members all take the same vow and oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. Memorial Day ceremonies are recognized nationally around the country to remember all of our fallen heroes. We stand here in peace, safety. We pay our respect to all the fallen and all who served in conflicts. Today, as we should every day, we remember those who sacrificed, served, and fought, and died for our freedom. On this past Thursday, I had the honor of participating with American Legion Post 52 and the annual tradition of walking through these hallowed grounds of the Green Hill and St. Patrick's Cemetery with the students of the Wallingford Elementary School. I was impressed by their knowledge of the meaningfulness of the American flag. We placed American flags on the graves of our veterans. The students and the adults walked up through these hills and asked questions about our fallen soldiers. They shared the stories of their family members that are buried here. The students asked about my role as a service member and his role as a Veterans Outreach Specialist. Senior Pastor Mark Losby explained to them that he was a military police officer, and I told them that I had served in airborne units and was as tall as Pastor Mark when I first started, but after making several hard jumps out of planes, I just don't stand quite as tall anymore. While I was stationed at Fort Devens in August of 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. Saddam Hussein had decided to extend his territorial boundaries down into Kuwait and feared no retaliation of any of his bordering countries at that time. Our unit was activated and attached to the 44th Medical Brigade from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We were called up to orders and loaded in planes in a rapid deployment. 72 hours later, we were touching down in the lands of Saudi Arabia, preparing for the unknown with fear of what might be used to deter our will to push the enemy and reestablish the country's territories. The strength of the U.S. military would be known over time. Preparations of building up the forces that would be needed to force the Iraqi Republican Guard back to get conquered. Adapting to the many changes in wartime, preparedness would be our goal in getting the mission accomplished. Day-to-day operations would suffer. The rising temperatures and the fierce sandstorms would test our fortitude in being flexible in challenges we would soon to face. The daily danger of chemical and biological weapons being used and constant threat of what might be delivered into our bunkers or into our perimeters was always looming. With over 470,000 soldiers, sailors, and airmen in 28 different countries, we deployed into hostile territory. We would defend the Kuwait liberation and their freedom. 299 service members lost their lives, and between 20,000 and 35,000 civilians died on those attacks. Artillery rounds, Scud rockets, continue to be a constant threat to our areas. What might be delivered was always there. The fear of what might be delivered was always there. This was one of the largest deployments in military alliances since World War II. In January of '91, Operation Desert Storm commenced in the aerial bombing of our campaign against Iraq. Over the next few weeks, the coalition would begin to take and move Iraqi forces back. Closure came when the American-led liberation of Kuwait on February 28th of 1991. We were fortunate to return home, with only the casualties that we suffered were from our unit were being a medical evacuation helicopter. So on this day of remembrance, we honor the pilot and their crew. After my time in service, I always knew I would return back to my home state of Vermont. I was afforded the opportunity to work with the Vermont Veterans Outreach Program, and our mission is to help veterans and their family members obtain the benefits that they earn through their service. We offer 24 hours, resource lines, crisis situations. We also find ways to overcome the barriers in the care, transportation, and benefits. We help limit the frustrations by getting people headed in the right direction. We need our veterans to know that we are veterans helping veterans to receive the services that they need and they deserve. In closing today on this Memorial Day, let us carry the sacrifices in our hearts and strive to honor their memory by being good and faithful, hopeful and strong, and committed to remembering them for their selfless service. Thank you.
We'll hear again from Mill River Union High School with the Marches of the Armed Forces to remember our veterans.
Show attention.